who was inside the courtroom? This fella. I know what you're thinking. Why do all of Trump's attorneys either look like the hot assistant DA on a Law and Order episode or the ambulance chasing MacGuffin lawyer who actually killed the person on Law and Order? I understand. I don't know. It's maybe the same reason why he picks people with, names like Ty Cobb and Smiley Jenkins or whatever the shit. Everybody's got this like silly fucking name. Trump attorney John Lauro. That sounds bad. Shreds Merrick Garland's handiwork on the Ingraham Act. Oh, it's on Ingraham. I had no idea. They had one of the attorneys on Ingraham. Ah, yes, Laura Ingraham. Yes.
Joining me now to unpack all of this is John Lauro, attorney for President Donald J. Trump.
Fabulous. We're going to get the inside scoop, folks. He looks happy. That doesn't look like, that is not the face of a man under pressure. Jesus Christ. He looks like he's just been, he looks like he just opened an envelope with a ransom note in it.
He was there in the courtroom today, John.
Yeah. I'm in courtrooms a lot. I'm a lawyer, and I represent a lot of shitty people, Laura. A lot of shitty people. This might be the shittiest. Yeah, it's tough.
They want this trial to be speedy. This was repeated all...
No, excuse me. They don't want speedy. They want quick trial. Quick trial, apparently. Quick trial. Apparently, the defendant in the case has been on television everywhere talking about how he thinks there should be quick trials. He's a big fan of other countries when they do it, so he asked for one. Quick trial. Speedy. Fuck off. Quick trial.
Day long on the other cable networks. They want it to happen before the election. What does that tell you tonight?
That it'd be hard to... Because he's a criminal now. He was criming now. What? Let me tell you this. What the fuck does an election have to do with it? If you did the crime before you ran for office, who cares? What is, honest to God? That's like, it's like they want to pull him over before he hits the next intersection. Who gives a shit?
It tells me everything, Laura, about what's going on, about the attack on our Constitution. I've talked a lot about how this is criminalized First Amendment speech because...
No. As a lawyer, you should know that free speech doesn't cover the instructions to kill someone, for example. Right? We know this, right? That just because words are the point of communication does not mean words are... This guy's about to make the child porn the defense of child porn First Amendment argument.
President Trump, like all of us, has a right to redress grievances, has a right to protest an election that he felt was unfair.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the right to coordinate an alternate set of electors to undermine the function of government. He's not being tried for being at the ellipse, dipshit.
Has a right to campaign on a position.
Yeah, that's interesting because he has not been charged with illegal campaigning.
And they've attacked that right, not just for President Trump, but for everyone.
No. See, if I stand in the middle of the fucking grass in front of the White House and tell everybody that, if the vice president doesn't make me president again, you're going to have to fight or we're not going to have a country left, and point them in the direction and say, they're not going to give a fuck because nobody would listen to me. Well, some people would, but not enough to make a difference, to make a dent. In this case, yes, but the bigger part isn't even that stuff. The bigger part isn't the free speech of telling a group of people that went to attack someplace, is what his fucking calls and his conversations with Mark Meadows, who spoke to Steve Bannon and Roger Stone and all these rat fuckers who were trying to undermine the counting of the Electoral College votes.
But now, today in court, which was a very terribly sad day, they're attacking other parts of the Constitution.
Are they? Wait a minute. Oh, are they going to make us quarter soldiers?
Because they want to take President Trump to trial in a few months. They want to deny him his Sixth Amendment rights to counsel.
What? You're his lawyer. Explain.
Give me and my co-counsel Todd Blanche an opportunity to prepare.
Oh, I see. He won't get proper counsel because these motherfuckers are going to pretend that they don't know anything about this and don't have time to review the 200,000 hours of video of the Jan 6ers going, we're here because President told us to kick her ass. I'm going to shoot Pelosi in the dome for Mr. Trump like he told me to. Like, yeah. Objection. Fuck off.
They want to deny President Trump his due process rights.
No, he's getting them everywhere. He's getting more due process rights. He's out fucking walking around. You know what he's due? At the very least, an ankle monitor.
To look at documents, to get witnesses, to use our subpoena power.
Oh, and this is the, like, we're going to put the, who the fuck is that? All right, William J. Hennessy Jr. Your Honor, I object. Clearly, the court artist likes Donald Trump and has decided to draw, I don't know, a character from Nancy Drew. All right.
They want to deny all of him those rights in a rush.
All of him? All of him? Or both of him? Probably just some of him. They want to deny 15/18 of him those rights.
To judgment for one political purpose, and that's to uphold
his right to have a picture that makes him look like a service member in the 40s that got a social disease in a comic book they hand out to guys who are going to France. Don't get a bump on your dick, Charlie. All right.
the Biden administration. Make no mistake about it. This has...
That's a little better. What did you do, melt between the two pictures? Hey, blurb.
Merrick Garland's handiwork all around it.
Well, he is a handy dude.
This case was brought, had to be approved by Merrick Garland.
All right. Again, I don't know what the dude, this William J. Hennessy artist is fucking around with. Why is one finger big and the rest of them? What else is going on here?
And
he's signing his name. That is his fucking signature. That's him writing. What did he do? I sign bills that never passed. It comforts me. Please tell me in court, like in the middle of it, he signed something and then just held it up and went like, no, quit it. But I signed the thing. I signed the thing.
interestingly enough, why the bum's rush on this case?
Why the bum's rush? Well, if you think this is a bum's rush, wait till he gets in jail. I kid you. Come on, stop it.
Feel that there's a problem in the other cases that are being orchestrated?
No. As a matter of fact, they know that you're going to delay everything, so they start as early as possible because he's going to try his delay tactics. And the sooner you try to start it, the delay tactics can only go on so long. But if you punt it out to May, he could show up in April and go, I'm sick. I can't be here to face my accusers. So they're, all 240 million of them.
And they need to bring this case to trial in a couple of months in this venue. What does that tell you?
That they have a very strong case. And no matter what angle you look at the shit, you're fucked.
Well, they definitely don't want to name any of the other co-conspirators.
Oh, they want to. Just legally, they can't until they either charge them or those people actually, they probably till their deal is finished, I guess.
Correct, because that would slow them down.
Would it?
I mean, if this was such a assault on our democratic process, which obviously it was not.
Obviously. Well, in all fairness, she's right. It was not an assault on our democratic process because it failed miserably. It was like everything else he does, a complete fuck up. It didn't amount to a hill of beans. It was noisy and dangerous, and some people got hurt, and some of his own supporters got killed that day. But overall, you know, democracy went easy, and that was that. You know, so she's kind of right. I mean, it's the attempt, but that's, again, if somebody tries to stab you, it's still attempted murder, even if they have the knife pointed the wrong way and they're running at you and the hilt bounces off your chest and sticks them in the forehead. It's still attempted murder.
Trump left office voluntarily.
That's her defense. Trump left office voluntarily.
Democratic process, which obviously it was not. Trump left office voluntarily.
Yeah. He left office voluntarily after his failed coup, dipshit. You don't get credit for, like, walking away from a fight with your ass kicked. Look, he's obviously a pacifist. You can tell by the way he crawled out of the bar. Shut the fuck up.
The electors, had the, votes certified, all of that.
All that happened. Just a little, there was some sort of, I don't even remember. Does anyone remember? It was some kind of a delay. Something went on. She slept through the whole thing. Wine is a hell of a drug.
So that all happened.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's a great way to sum it up. January 6th. That all happened. Good Lord.
They actually want this to go forward as fast as possible.
It's been 2 fucking years, dum-dum. 2 fucking years. I don't know. Maybe there's a statute of limitations on trying to destroy democracy that we're not aware of.
And so they'll let go of the co-conspirators, correct?
No.
That's key to this.
100%. This is a...
No. You'll go after the mafia boss and let the other fuckers sweat it out and squeal and offer them a deal as they see them going after the boss. They're going to do that to him. As we get closer, we get closer to not needing you motherfuckers. That's the other thing. One of the big reasons that, in my opinion, that the Jan 6 co-conspirators with Trump are not being tried at the same time he is, and he's put out front, is because they want those guys to come to court and verify what some of the other ones have said. What Mark Meadows has said, he said to Roger Stone, or he said to Steve Bannon, or he said to Rudy Giuliani, or he said to John Eastman, or what John Eastman said to somebody else that he was there. So they were present when it happened. It wasn't hearsay. He saw him do it. They want the third or fourth person in the fucking room to verify this. And the closer they get to finding Trump guilty, the less they need the co-conspirators to confirm those details. If they feel like they have enough information to convict him without them, so they can just fucking convict those guys. But if they show up and go, hey, I'm old, let me take a walk. I'll just go. I'll stop lawyering or something. But God, they're hoping Eastman rolls, essentially.
This is a fast-moving railroad without any concern for justice.
It's a great description. The man's a poet. I can envision it. It's a fast-moving railroad without any concerns for justice. Okay. Trains move fast. Railroads stay still. If you're railroading someone, you're talking about putting them on a train and getting them somewhere fast to justice, but never mind.
Speedy trial rights are a defendant's speedy trial rights, a citizen's speedy trial right.
Right, and they're guaranteeing him that speedy trial right because he's running for office and he's got a primary next year, and so might as well get it out of the way since he's innocent, right?
It's not the government. The government has an obligation to ensure a fair
I haven't even finished law school.
trial. And in this case, what we need is a journey to the truth, not a railroading of an American citizen, let alone a former president. So what we have here is a strategic move by the Biden administration to get to trial as quickly as possible because
he's guilty. No, that's not what you were going to say, because Trump's fucking guilty, and they know that this one's a slam dunk because because Steve Bannon recorded everything. He rolled a long time ago, and Mark Meadows has all those recordings of the people writing the book about Mark Meadows in the documents case. They were following him around the rest of the time, and Mark Meadows has a shit ton of recordings of Trump saying all this stuff that have been verified by 3 other people on the recordings that's actually Trump already. Is that...
For whatever reason, and we know the reason.
Yes, the reason is he's guilty. That's whatever reason. He's fucking guilty. He masterminded the whole thing. Show up on Jan 6. It will be wild. He took out the part where I'm going to go down to the Capitol with you. He took that out because it would have warned them that he was coming, and they would have had more security, and it would have made the attack less likely to succeed.
They think they can do better here in the...
Okay, and why do they keep showing this footage of him with his pancake on the top of his head flapping in the wind?
District of Columbia than they can do in a more diverse state like Florida.
Hi, fuckhead. The crime happened in D.C. January 6th happened in D.C. The documents case happened is in 2 districts. D.C. because that's where the documents were taken from illegally, and Florida where they were taken to illegally. Look, defend him and say we believe these charges are false and blah, 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 blah. But don't fucking pretend the rest of us don't understand how federal jurisdictions work. Good Lord, man. We watch a lot of true crime.
Well, I think that's a harder argument for you to argue. Because it is very difficult to change venue, and in these types of cases, it hasn't been successful.
Because when there's these types of cases, when somebody instigates a riot and an attack on the Capitol, it's hard to argue that didn't happen in Washington, D.C.
But I think you're onto something about what they want to prevent. They want to prevent the people from having their say next year.
No, you can vote for him when he's in jail. You can. He can run for office in the United States of America. You can run for office from fucking jail, dummy. That would not keep him off the ballot. You're scared that that's the one thing that will finally let Republicans take a break from gargling his balls.
Whatever that say is. Bill Barr, the former attorney general, no love lost, obviously, between Trump and Barr, he disagrees with the free speech defense, and this is why.
Disagrees.
They're not attacking his First Amendment right. He can say whatever he wants. He can even lie. That does not protect you from entering into a conspiracy. All conspiracies involve speech, and all fraud involves speech.
And this is a man who used to hang out with George H.W. Bush. I'm just saying, he knows what he's talking about.
So, free speech doesn't give you the right to engage in a fraudulent conspiracy.
John, your response to that?
Yes, it does. I don't like him. He looks like the dad from the dinosaur TV show. That's what he wrote for me to say.
Laughable. Absolutely laughable. What's the fraud? Tell me what the fraud is. What?
He was aware that he lost. He said it to multiple people. Everybody around him that he relied on for real information was telling him the truth. He knew they were telling him the truth, and he thought he could fix it so he could stay in office. He thought he could create the illusion that he had won. That's what the whole red wave thing was about. That's what declare victory before we've even lost. Like, he is clamoring about, you can't trust the votes in the beginning unless I win, all that shit.
What's the fraudulent speech? Donald Trump.
Well, I gotta say that it's on tape.
President Trump was out in the open petitioning the state legislatures, petitioning the court.
Yeah, and he failed. And he lost. He lost all of his legal battles. He lost all of them. And then he had a rally, and he set up a bunch of fake electors that in states where he had lost by 100,000 fucking votes. He had fake electors who were going to show up, and these guys were going to attack the Capitol. There was going to be a 10-day pause. They were going to send it back to the legislatures. State legislatures who were allied with the Republican Party were going to say, no, those are we don't trust the Biden electors. We're putting in our electors, and you've got to signify before the 21st, or our country's going to fall apart, and we'll throw those in, and I'll still be president. That's what he was planning. It was a shit plan from the start. It was a Hail Mary pass, but he tried it. Again, it's still attempted murder. If you try to stab a person with the wrong side of the knife, it bounces off their chest and sticks you in the forehead. I'm sorry. You're still an attempted murderer.
There was nothing fraudulent going on.
Dude, his whole presidency. Oh, God.
This is absolutely protected First Amendment speech.
No, it isn't. He's not being. Look, the evidentiary aspect of what he spoke about at, on the ellipse or in the, at his rally is not what he's being charged with. He's not being charged with anything he said there. They are comparing what he said in public to what he said in private. He's not being charged for saying that shit in public. He's being charged for arranging fake electors in this scheme and lying about what the vice president said in his role as president of the United States to other people as a directive to get them to follow illegal instructions from the president of the United States. You dummy.
For Mr. Barr to say that is a complete and utter ignorance of what the basic law.
A complete and utter ignorance. A complete and fucking hell, man. First of all, Bill Barr has known Donald Trump and worked more closely with him than you have. Just your complaint is you don't have enough time to prep for this case because you haven't been on the scene that long. Bill Barr worked with this dumb motherfucker for years. He was harder to pry loose from Trump than a fucking tumor.
Is with respect to freedom of speech. The First Amendment protects not only speech, but it protects the right to protest, and it protects the right to petition for grievances, which...
Yeah. Fake electors aren't petitioning for grievances. He's going to make that case. He's going to make the case that arranging for a senator to do a 10-day pause and allow their other electors to be there was their petitioning of grievances. They already had the petition, dumb fuck. That happens in the States. And then once they certify, that's fucking that. If you don't believe me, ask Al Gore.
President Trump did. To characterize this as fraud when there's nothing being done in secret, there's nothing being hidden.
Can we put a pin in that statement, guys? Remember this in the future? Because I'm just saying there's going to be tapes. Lordy, there are going to be tapes.
There's no
they're
deceit.
hanging it all. Yeah, John, they're hanging it all, or a lot of it, on the supposed conversation between Pence and Trump that Pence took contemporaneous notes of, where Trump said, "You're too honest." I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, you're just too honest. But I mean, to me, that's just a throwaway line. That doesn't prove anything. But
no, it doesn't prove anything. She works at Fox. First of all, she's never heard those three words in that order in her fucking life, especially at Fox News. Certainly not amongst the staff. Good Lord. So, of course, the words don't mean anything. Look at my show.
Man, they're hanging a lot on that one phrase.
No, they're not. They're using it as what's an analogy? A wall, one brick in a giant wall.
Good luck. I'm ready for them at trial. I can't.
Yeah, bam.
Wait, but
you tell them I can't wait. Oh, so quick trial is cool now, motherfucker. We need time. I can't wait. Make up your fucking mind.
But something about the conversations between Mr. Pence and Mr. Trump. President Trump was getting advice from an esteemed constitutional scholar as
John Eastman, co-conspirator number 2, I believe.
To an array of options that he could take in light of the discrepancies and what was going on in 2020.
Motherfucker, he's doing a lick lip. This is not good. So I'm assuming it's Eastman. It might be Lynn Wood.
Those discrepancies were well known. And
no, they were not. They had been asked and answered multiple times.
And they were being litigated.
No, they were not. The litigation had stopped.
Professor Eastman laid out a series of options that were discussed with Vice President.
Way to go, dumb. All right, well, I guess there goes co-conspirator. All right, sorry. Co-conspirator number 2. You fucking... Thanks a lot, dipshit.
President Pence. Vice President Pence disagreed on certain issues, but ultimately,
Yeah. He disagreed on violating the Constitution just to stay in power in a democracy.
what President Trump said is, let's go with option D. Let's just halt. Let's just pause the voting and allow the state legislatures to take one.
Yeah. Now, that's a good point you bring up right there. That's a good thing. Now, what was the strategy for, quote, halting the counting of the vote? You'd made a fucking couple of phone calls over the days earlier. Had anybody that was there been successful in halting the counting of the votes? Anybody? Because I know there were a couple of attempts, but they failed miserably. So, what was the? There seemed to be Plan A was call Ted Cruz. Plan B was Tommy Tuberville. Plan C was accidentally call Mike Lee. So Plan D was attack the fucking place.
Last look and make a determination as to whether or not the elections were handled fairly. That's constitutional law. That's not an issue of criminal activity.
Your Honor, the divorce was final. I understand that. But since this is a state with no marital rape rules, and I don't agree that we're divorced, I thought it was okay for me to climb through the window and put my penis in her. And apparently her new husband got in the way, and somehow he and I ended up accidentally consummating a marriage. Now, all I want is half his assets. That's my impersonation of this guy's client if he did family law.
John, August 28th is the next date that you guys are supposed to appear, or you'll appear for the next hearing.
What does he do? Just is there a puff of smoke?
Thank you. We're going to be following this. We really appreciate you joining.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I mean, we learned a bunch. I feel like I grew as a person. I actually think it's interesting. I feel like how close are we to Donald Trump just hiring an Adam Sandler character to be his lawyer? Honest to God. Oy.